Today I thought we would do a real-time draw / color along with me over this image of two champagne glasses and the logo 2025 that I drew. I will be using again that Ohuhu Honolulu B brush and fine tip markers 48-piece set in my Talens Sketchbook. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Jen and this is JynDrawz, and I'm going to be talking today about my plans for 2025 and how I think 2024 went. I posted several videos in June and July, and then I took a long break again, and then I posted some more videos in December. And I was pretty happy with how those all turned out, and you guys seem to like them as well. And I hope to continue doing this in 2025. I plan to post like 2 videos per week, maybe a third if possible, because I have a big backlog of those subscription boxes that I bought during that special time when everybody was stuck at home. But I never had time to actually use them and process them. So I kind of want to also mix those in with a whole bunch of different drawing and color alongs that I do throughout the week. I'm really hoping to get to monetize this year as well. I think that would be really a great achievement. I hope to also improve all of my coloring skills and get better with markers and drawing in general. Those are my goals for 2025. I'd like to also hear what you guys are also planning for 2025. Any big plans or anything you want to accomplish this year or get to or achieve. Please leave it down in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys are up to as well. Some comments about the drawing going on in the background is that I'm using the lightest yellow color that I have. I'm then going over it with a second lightest yellow color, and then I go over it with like a medium brown color and then a darker brown color. And I coat each number first in that light color just so that when I add the next layers up, it seems to blend in really well, and you get this really smooth gradient when you use a base color and fill in everything first. Even on this thinner paper, it still really helps a lot to get that really smooth gradient blend. So that's what I'm doing. I just keep going between all of those 4 yellows / brown colors to give that golden 3D effect to look a metal shine of these numbers. Back to the 2025 goals. I'm going to also try and do some long form videos. I'd like to hear if you guys like these real time in coloring, or maybe just the drawing part of something that I'm learning to do. If you find that interesting or not, or if you just like the sped up quick versions, you know, the 8 to 12 minute videos. Sometimes I think these longer in real time color alongs and draw alongs are also fun, but I don't know if you guys like that or not. Maybe it helps in learning exactly how I color and how I draw and how I get in that blending and shading. I find these fun to watch sometimes, just to learn how to actually do the technique, because when it's sped up at 2x or 4x, then you can't really see exactly how the color and the shading all got there. But let me know if you think that's something you'd like to see or not. I will probably throw in a couple just in case so there are new people who follow and would like to know how I do what I do, or learn, or, you know, just to see somebody else's process of how they do the coloring. I also like watching other artists in real time to see how they color and how they get their shading and how they do their coloring and work in markers or watercolors or any other medium. It's also nice just to have a sped up 10 to 12 minute video as well, just to get an idea over the end result, and then watch a longer form one if I want to know more about the technique rather than experimenting myself. what do you guys think about unboxing videos of older art supplies? I mean, the art supplies are still good. They are, and you can still buy them, most of them, I believe. They are a lot of fun, I think, to challenge, because then you're stuck with a certain supply and a certain theme, and then that really changes your mindset, and it really gives you something else to do, and you don't really got to think so much about what you're going to have to pick for supplies. It limits those choices, and sometimes that is fun, but sometimes it's also very frustrating because you're in the mood for something else, and then this box just has something that is totally not up your alley. But I find that sometimes, you know, going outside your comfort zone then gets you thinking differently, and when you go back to your preferred medium, it gives you a whole new insight and new ideas over how to use it, and new techniques that you can implement with your chosen medium that you like to work in mostly. Another thing that I've been thinking about is, should I do a voiceover for the full videos, or do you like it when I just talk at the beginning and give you some tips and tell you what I'm going to be doing, and then towards the middle I give you a little bit of an update over what I did, and then at the end we go over the results? Or do you like when I talk throughout the whole video and tell you exactly what I'm doing and give you all my insights over how I was doing something and what was going on at that time? I kind of like to hear what people like these days over videos. I'm in the middle. I like a bit of everything. Sometimes I like a full, long ramble and chat throughout the whole video, and then sometimes I just like to see what's going on and watch and have some background music, and that's it. I'll probably do a combination of everything, since I do like that wide variety of videos where you have the chat along that has maybe nothing to do with what's being drawn or colored on the screen, and you just get to know the person who's making the art. Those are also a lot of fun, I think. I have thought about maybe doing an ASMR video. I don't know. I got a lot of noises going on here, and just doing this voiceover takes quite a bit of planning, just so that I don't have a ton of background noise, because I do live in a fairly busy area. I've got a very loud snoring chihuahua. We have cats. We have a business at home. So getting time where it's actually quiet in the house enough that I can do these voiceovers is sometimes a bit of a challenge. But if you would like to hear an ASMR video from me, then I can also arrange that and plan it out and try one time. People sure seem to do like those. I have watched a couple. They are fun and neat, so I might give it a try sometime. As you can see here, while I'm coloring the 0 in 2025, that the 2 is really, the ink is drying and all those colors are really blending in well. And I do have to go back over it with that darker brown, because otherwise you don't get that depth and that shine look if you don't. So you have to really do one at a time, and then you move on to the next number or item, and then you do another number or another item, and then you come back. And that's the great thing about markers, so you can just keep layering, and the more you do, the more depth and dimension that you get. That's why I really like working with alcohol markers. I find it a real fun medium that you can just keep going over it and just adding more to it without really damaging the paper too badly. I mean, this is super thin, cheap paper, and yet it holds up really well, I think. I've got a Strathmore mixed media book that I've seen other alcohol marker YouTube artists use, and I can't wait to get into that one. But I first want to finish off this one with all this finished artwork in a sketchbook. I have a ELO sketchbook that I just about finished. I got one more page left in it, but it is truly like a junk sketchbook, because I have all sorts of things in it. I have swatching in it, I have some finished drawings in it, I have some very rough sketches in it that are where I was learning to draw people or learning to draw something. So it's quite a mishmash, and nothing is in order. If you would like to see a flip through video of that and me talking about what I had did and what I've done, let me know in the comments as well. I think I will probably be filming that next week when I finish off that sketchbook. I just got to, like I said, just 1 or 2 pages left to fill with something I'm probably going to pick up where I was learning to draw people, since I did get some very beautiful lowish books. I would like to try drawing in her style, maybe not necessarily people, but I do like her style and her colors that she uses, and just how she shades and color things is very, I don't know how to describe it. It's so eye-catching. I just love how she draws people, and I want to use how she draws people in what I do, because I love her color combinations and how she does lighting and everything, and I think I can use how she does what she does to draw people to do what I am drawing other things and using markers, because she's mostly a digital artist. But I think I can use her lighting and color choices in my artwork as well. I can't wait to see what I can do with that. Another thing I need to learn to do to stop doing in 2025 is saying I know I say that a lot. I don't know why. I don't normally say so much, but I will try to stop. If you can hear in the background, my chihuahua, she's sleeping and snoring away. She's 10 years old. I'm so happy with her. I can't believe that she's already 10. It's amazing. Time just has flown by with her. She's as cute and as happy as ever, so I hope that she's around with us for quite a bit longer. So I'm sorry for all the snoring noises you might be hearing in the background. I can try and wake her, but it does me no good, because 3 seconds later she's back asleep and snoring away. So I've just learned to live with it, and I almost don't hear it anymore when she's snoring, unless she's getting really, really loud. But I just ignore it most of the time. I hardly even notice that she's snoring. Let's see. Oh yes. During this drawing, I had inked it with a Bic ballpoint pen. I thought that I could do that and let it dry for like a day and it would be all fine. But the marker did pick it up and it did smear out. So that's why I'm really trying to not go over the line work. It's not so bad. It does add a bit of character to the numbers and everything. It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's in a sketchbook. It's just some golden numbers and a little bit of black ink mixed in with them. It just gives them a bit more character, and they look like they're, well, shiny gold numbers still with a bit of black smeared through it, but I keep layering over with that yellow and the darker brown, and you hardly even see it. When I did do the champagne glasses, then I really took care, because those needed to be a kind of a clear, a really crisp looking, bright yellow color. So I didn't want that mixed through, because that really dulled it down. But other than that, I will not do the inking with the Bic pen first thing anymore. I just thought that would show you guys a bit easier where I was coloring and how I was coloring, because if I erased the pencil that I had before, you can't see any of the pencil marks on the paper, because I have to erase it so lightly. Because as you know, with a marker, if you go over pencil, it will become permanently in the page and you can no longer erase it. That is a bit of a bummer, but hey, it's fun, you learn. It's just a little sketch in my sketchbook, and I was pretty happy with the end results in the end, so all's good. Let's see, what else was I going to do this year? I have a lot of different ideas for videos. I hope you guys will like them. I'd like to hear what you guys like for videos. Do you want more marker art? Do you want more jewelry drawings? Because I'm going to be doing a whole wide variety of things, but I think mostly I'm going to focus doing all my artwork in markers. Maybe alcohol markers, watercolor markers. I've also have some of those pip pins from Faber-Castell. I think those will be fun because those are like permanent markers once dry, so even more permanent than the alcohol markers, and I think that'll be really fun to try those out and use those. I also can't wait to try out those new Ohuhu markers, the ones that Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, had showcased in the Sat Chat, or she actually also had a video over them when she did an unboxing of the Christmas gift she got from Ohuhu. Those look really fun. Probably will be only a limited palette when they come out, so it'll be interesting to see what colors they pick for their initial launch of those colors, and how many colors they're going to be, and which set, and are they going to keep all of their current variations, or are they eliminating something? Because I know during Christmas they were out of stock of the Honolulus, and I know a lot of people were disappointed about that. And that's why I'm so happy and lucky that I got this 48-piece set with the brush and the fine point, because I know they were very difficult and you could hardly get them anywhere, or or some of the resellers were like overcharging massively. At least here they were in Europe. I was so happy. That's why I'm doing a lot of artwork with this 48-piece set, because I was so ecstatic that I could get them at a decent price. Because some of the Amazon resellers were charging double, and I just kept watching the page and kept watching to see if they were ever going to be back in stock between all of the Amazon websites that I can buy from that do ship to me here in Holland. And I finally scored this set from Amazon.nl, and I was so happy because they ended up being about $1 a marker, which is really good for a brush tip marker these days. So I was very happy with that, and that's why I'm doing so much artwork with just this simple 48-piece set. I also find it a nice challenge to use a 48-piece set. I mean, these aren't the perfect colors to make like gold numbers and everything. If I used all my markers, I could pick out the exact colors and be a little closer and a little nicer, but I still think this turned out pretty good, and I'm really, really enjoying just having 48 colors to choose from, make art with it, and think a little bit more outside of the box and challenge myself a bit further. I've also seen an idea that people do in watercolor with getting this like cohesive coloring scheme, and I really want to see if I can do it with alcohol markers as well. So that's an upcoming video that I have planned, to try and use what they call a mother color and mix it with all the other colors. I know in watercolors you can mix it and then it's all mixed and everything, and I'm hoping that maybe if I put down like this mother color before I color whatever colors I'm choosing on top of it, that I will get that same effect. I think that's going to be a really fun challenge and something interesting to try out, because I don't think I've seen that yet in marker art, where you use a mother color so that you get this cohesion of colors and they look like they all go together. So that's going to be really fun to do and try out and experiment with. I also follow Cat Art Illustrations on Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel here. She doesn't post too often, but I love how she uses markers and creates artwork with them. And it's just amazing how she just layers and layers and layers the markers, and she gets such deep, rich colors and themes, and I'm just in awe with her artwork. I also want to try to see if I can color like she does, because I think that's really, I don't know, it's just so impressive how she just layers and just keeps layering, and how she gets this depth that I don't think I've seen any other marker artist do yet. It is just so impressive. I can't believe it. It's just, I'm in awe. I'm going to try and see if I can't color in her style as well. So that's another thing I want to do for a video, is try to color like she does. I also had somebody ask me about the Himi Mia alcohol markers, and I was able to find them, and I got them for myself as a Christmas gift. So I'm going to be doing a review of those as well in a coming video. They are brush tip and chisel tip, I believe. It was a whole set. I've got like paper and a pencil and some other things in the box. You'll get to see it when I unbox it. I'm really excited to try those out. I've never tried anything like those, I don't think. I just have the Ohuhus, the Winsor Newtons, some Copics. I think that's all that I have for alcohol markers. I think those are the major brands. More about the artwork in the background. As you can see, we're already to the number 5, and if you look at that 0, you see how faded and how it doesn't have any really sharp shine to it. So I'm going to be going back over the numbers, adding that darker, I believe it was called potato brown, to it, so that you get more of that dark shine and shadow and get the numbers looking more off the page and giving them a real shine and goldenness to them. Are you guys also coloring along? Have you tried this technique? Did you do any special artwork to ring in the new year of 2025? Are you excited 2025 is coming? I am. I am so excited for this year. I've got so many plans, so many videos, ideas that I've got laid out, and I just need to make time, make them, edit them, and get them out to you guys so you can see them, and hopefully we both can learn and grow as artists. Or maybe you just like watching art and don't want to try yourself, even though I really recommend trying out these markers, trying out some marker art. It's really a lot of fun. I mean, this is a 40-piece set and a simple Talens sketchbook. Maybe in the US you can't get the Talens very cheaply, but any cheap sketchbook. And the ELOs are really great for a comparison. Even though I think the ELO paper is a little more yellow than this one, but they're about the same in thinness and it bleeds through, so yeah, there's no real difference there. And those are fairly cheap sketchbooks. And then if you, this 48-piece set, it doesn't have to be the brush set. It can be the regular chisel and fine point set. That works great for this as well. As you see, I'm using the fine point now to add those sharp lines in. So you don't have to have a brush. The chisel will work just as well. Sometimes I actually prefer the chisel over the brush because the brush just floods out so much of that alcohol ink that it almost overwhelms the page and it goes outside the lines. And then you got to do a little bit of corrections and you got to push it back a little and try to hide your going outside of the lines. So, I mean, a 48-piece set is like, okay, it's maybe about $50. If you get a notebook, then you're out another $10. So you're out about $60. But there are so many pages in this sketchbook. I don't remember how many, but I've got several artworks in here already. And even if I just skip over a page because it bleeds through, then, I still have, I think, at least 50 artworks I'll have in here by the time I'm done. And my plan is on the back sides where the ink has bled through on those pages that I'm going to be using some acrylic markers to make marker art with. That's really a lot of fun. It sometimes can cover all of the bleed through, but not totally. But it's still a lot of fun using that on the back sides of the pages, or just doing some sketching and thumbnailing over the next idea that I want to do on an upcoming video. I've also in here got some very abstract artwork done in marker art. I'm thinking about doing a video where I do something that's totally abstract with marker. That was a lot of fun to do as well. I get all my inspiration and pictures that I use from Unsplash. This one I just made it up in my head. I did look at a reference of a couple champagne glasses, but for the most part I just did the composition all just out of my head and kind of guessed what a glass would look like and filled it with some champagne, as you will see later on. And here I am just adding more of that shine to these numbers because the colors blended just so wonderfully. I got this nice smooth blend of color, but for gold you kind of need that sharp line to give it that gold shine to it. And then I will be on to the champagne glasses and filling in those stars to help celebrate in the new year. I just can't wait. I can't wait for 2025. It's so close. Just tomorrow, just a few more hours left of today, and it will be 2025. I usually either try and stay up until the ball drops in New York City. I love watching that. It was something that I always did. and I either stay up until that time, which is 6 a.m. for me, which is really late, or sometimes I set an alarm and I wake up at 5 till, and then I watch the ball drop, and then I go back to sleep. Just depends on what we have planned to do on New Year's. And I think this year I will be setting an alarm and waking up so that I can watch the ball drop. Do you guys watch the ball drop in NYC, or do you have some other thing that you do always on New Year's Eve to bring in the new year? I always like hearing what other people's traditions are. I think that's always a lot of fun to hear what people do for New Year's Eve and what they like to bring in the new year. Do you stay up? Do you game? Do you go out and have fun at the bar? Or I don't know. I just really like to hear what you guys all do. Do you have any big plans for this year? I have a trip coming up at the end of the year. I will be going on another retreat with Lindsay and this wonderful group of women that I met last year. Well, it's still 2024, so this year in May. That was so much fun, and we're going to be doing another one in end of October. This time we're going to Italy. It's going to be, I think, a blast. We're going to get a couple new people in, and a lot of us are returning, so that'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to meet the new people and to see my old friends in person again. We still do a lot of chatting in our chat group, so that's a lot of fun, being able to keep up with them because they all live so far away, but they all are wonderful. I miss them, seeing them in real life, but it's great that we can at least chat every day and keep in touch. Now we are coloring in that champagne, and I used a GY6, I believe it is, to get that light yellow green color that champagne kind of is. I then filled the glasses, and I took into consideration that the glasses are tilted left and right, so then where the liquid would be in the glass, so yeah, you get that bit of realism effect to it. I also did a couple extra layers towards the inside because the inside would be darker than where it is touching the glass. That would be a lot lighter because it'd be a lot less liquid there and it'd be more see-through. And then I did just one pass to give that surface of the liquid so you get that roundness to it. I did go back in with a white gel pen to create the bubbles that champagne has, or Prosecco, which I prefer over champagne. I find the champagne to be quite bitter, and Prosecco is just way nicer and easier on the palate. The second glass, as you see, is tilted to the right, so then the liquid would be falling slightly the opposite way of the other one. Again, I filled in the center with a couple passes, and the outside one with only 2 passes of the marker, and that right there you see where the pen had picked up on the marker tip, and it gave a little bit too much of a darkness to it, so I had to go over it a couple more times to get the alcohol to eat up or blend away or whatever it does to ink, dissolve, I guess. And then here we go with the ellipse for the surface of the champagne that you would see. Just one real soft pass. I then let that dry, and then I'm going to be using the lightest cool gray for the glass. I did some streaks over the glass to give that effect of glass and shine and see-throughness. Otherwise, if you just left it plain, then it doesn't really look like glass. So that's what I did for the glass. I then did some of the second darkest cool gray color to give some shadow and depth to the glass. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Over the champagne, I did use the one warm gray that is in this set to go over it to create that lip of where you would have the glass and the champagne touching one another, so that it was appearing a little darker and give that more of a depth and effect to it. just to yeah, give it a bit more of a liquid feel. And I didn't let that all blend together, and then I went over it again with that GY6 color to blend it all in so that it didn't look like there were streaks or anything like that. This was really fun to do. You had to think about where the glass was and where it would touch and where it would be darker and where light would be transparent through. The right one I went a little too dark with, but the left one turned out pretty well. I really liked how it came out in the end. And I really liked how I was doing the stems of the glass and how they overlapped. And you really got that feeling that they were two stems of glass were overlapping one another. That was a lot of fun to do. I'm going to let you guys watch till the end of the video so you can see how I do this glassware. And then when we're at the end of the video, I'll come back in and we can review over how it went, and I will see you then. So guys, I hope you learned a lot in watching this, and hopefully you give it a try yourself, and you can see how simple it is just to create a simple little artwork, and that it doesn't really have to take long, and you need just a few colors to make this happen. So I'm adding in the shadows. I first went around with the lightest cool gray that I have so I can mark it all out, because I know when that one dries, it dries very light, and if I went a little too far on the shadows, that you won't see it very much anyways, because it just like fades away into the paper because it's so light with just one pass. Then I went around with the second darkest cool gray color to add in a bit more depth and a bit more shadows to the items and give that even more 3D effect to it, and that's really fun to do. And then you can just go over it again with the lightest one to blend it out so that you don't have any truly harsh, sharp lines if you don't want them. And like I said, this paper is really great for blending. You put down one base coat and then you just keep blending it with the lighter ones, or you go over it with the darker one, and it just, I'm really happy with this paper and how it's turning out, and I know when I upgrade to even better paper, it's going to be even more fun to use markers and everything. I'm still in that learning phase, so I don't want to waste my good paper, of course. I gotta keep it and cherish it until I'm a really good artist. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just getting through this sketchbook, and then I will be starting a different one, and I think that will be a lot of fun to learn on different paper, see which one I really like, what kind of paper I like, because every artist is different. Some people like cheap paper, some people like thicker paper, some people even really like the marker paper, which I'm going to try out again. I've done a couple artworks on it, but it's so different because it's thin and the ink doesn't soak in, it puddles on the top, so it's more like you layer the markers instead of blending the colors. You get more of a layered and sharp edges and everything, and I think that'll be fun to test out and try out and see if I like that or not, or if I like more of this blending and adding some sharp highlights later on. So that'll be fun to see and try out. Also, another video I have planned. You guys, I have so many video ideas planned for 2025. I don't know how I'm going to get them all done. So that'll be interesting. And I can't wait to see how much my artwork improves and grows and changes in 2025. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I can't hold it back. I'm so excited for 2025. I think it's going to be a great year. I really do. I think I learned a lot in 2024. I've gotten everything arranged and organized so that 2025 can be a really, really awesome year for me. And I hope you all come along with me, and I hope we grow this community and we get some more friends, and everyone joins me in my marker art journey. Here I'm adding that with that white gel pen. Adding the white highlights, and I streak it down, and then with my finger I kind of dab it and pull it along so that it's not too harsh and too severe. I don't like it when it's too severe, but I do think on the champagne I should have done a little bit more and left the white dots a little bit more pronounced, because they almost faded away into that limey yellow champagne color. Maybe I'll go back in and edit that and add some more white dots to it later on. We'll see. So, if you've made it to the end of this video, please comment some champagne glasses or some fireworks or whatever you think of when you think of 2025 and the new year. And I want to wish everyone a happy new year, a safe new year, and I will see you all in 2025. Thanks, guys, and bye! Also, I forgot, I'm a really bad YouTuber. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That really helps my channel and gets it pushed out to more people so we can grow, have more marker artists in this community or other art lovers. Now, really, guys, bye!